And a great start to WrestleMania week for WrestleMania 41. This is On the Ring Apron. I'm Steve.
Alyssa. And Kia.
And we're here to present what is the first of 3 shows. I had to get it in there while I had the opportunity. But we've got a lot to deal with because we're trying to wrap things up. We get on a plane tomorrow to head to Vegas.
In the morning.
Yep, work is done. We're in great spirits. Hope it remains that way. We are ready to see the club members. I notice a lot of y'all have already jumped on your social medias and started talking about being there. We're going to be there in the afternoon tomorrow and ready to rock in and rock out with the rest of y'all at watch parties and Mania itself. I'm looking forward to it. Another fun trip in the works for us.
Absolutely. Yep. It'd be nice to finally get a slower pace because we have been going crazy.
You ain't kidding there. It has been one of those where we have had to earn our vacation all the way up to the last minute.
All right. Mm-hmm.
But, hey, we digress. But either way, we're here to discuss Stand Deliver. Normally you see us standing, but we got 3 of these shows to do tonight. WrestleMania week is always the larger one, and frankly, we're all,
I was about to say, you got to stand and deliver. We're going to give you sit and
You're going to get sit and get over it.
Sit and deliver tonight, okay? Thank you.
So either way, let's go ahead and hit up our first match. And that will be the match that falls on the pre-show, as we will be seeing a 4-team, 8-woman elimination tag team match. The winner of this match moves on to NXT next week to challenge the winners of Night 2's match for the women's tag team title. So either Liv and Raquel or Lyra and Bayley will be coming to NXT to take on the winner of this. Now, it is not a one fall to the finish. It is elimination style, so it is last team standing. Ultimately takes the match and wins the opportunity at the women's tag team titles on NXT. You have the Meta Girls, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. You have Fatal Influence over on the far right. Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolin up at the top. And then the newly reformed, although maybe not trusting of each other yet, team of former NXT women's tag champs, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, returning back from injury. Now, this one is one that was kind of thrown together. Most of them are women who tried to qualify for the North American women's ladder match and did not make it, with Roxanne being the exception that was unable to earn her way back to a second chance because she is the only one that ultimately didn't have a partner to go back to until Cora was able to step in. But with a shot at the tag titles on the line and a spot on the card, just too many valuable women to be left off of this card when you're supposed to be the best women's division in all of wrestling. Ladies, take it. This is why they're the best color commentary team of the game.
As long as he knows.
They're so good, they say nothing.
Child, what needs to be said, honestly? You have the Meta Girls. They've been an established team, coming from Meta 4, now they're the Meta 2, I guess. You have them. They've been going. Sorry.
I know y'all can hear him back there. He is just as excited about this as the rest of them.
I swear, I was like, wow, train of thought. Gone. But in all seriousness, you have the Meta Girls. They've been doing their thing. They've competed for the tag titles, a couple of times, right?
Mm-hmm. They went to They had them all the way to Saudi Arabia for a shot at it at one point.
Now. So they're doing their thing. You have Gigi Dolin and
Tatum Paxley.
I was gonna get there.
I'm finding it.
And Tatum Paxley, you have those two. I think I've seen a couple of matches with them together, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, y'all, look. Right now, I'm going to keep it real with you. Alyssa is tired, okay? I got coffee on my cup. I'll get
And I guarantee you that she will have a cup for every show at least. She'll have a fresh one each time.
He ain't wrong. And then you have, Fatal Influence.
Mm-hmm.
They are a faction together. So, they have some type of chemistry. Not necessarily with the tag in, but, hey. Do your big one. They're 2 seasoned veterans, so you can't overlook that at all. They both have the experience. And especially going against the women in this match against them in singles and whatever. And then you have Roxanne and Cora Jade. I almost called her something else. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what I was about to call her, but I was about to call her something else. It wasn't gonna be Cora. It wasn't gonna be Cora. I don't know. It just wasn't. But you have them two. They have won the tag team titles together before, so you know they are capable of winning. But you kind of have to wonder if their last little fallout. You have to wonder if Roxanne not saying I'm sorry and all that stuff is gonna come back to bite her. The two of them have had multiple times now where they have stabbed each other in the back and been at each other's throats, but I feel like that's also part of friendship, so I don't know. It's a little toxic, but I'm not my business because it ain't my friendship.
Well, how fitting. Well, how fitting though, because let's also remember that technically, out of the 8 women that are in this match, 5 have actually held tag team gold before, because you have both members of what used to be Toxic Attraction now on opposite teams, but they held the tag team championships and held them for the longest reign anyone. And also Fallon Henley has also held the tag team titles when it existed as well. She was with Kiana James. So Tatum and the Meta Girls are the only ones that actually have not held tag team gold amongst the 8 that are in this match. But also that last standing stipulation also means that, you know, you've got to be able to not just get one lucky pin. You're going to have to earn your way to it. So it definitely makes a difference.
I'm saying something. Look at Gigi and her former partner. What are they both doing?
Oh, the glasses.
Yeah. That's how you know they used to be a tag team. That's how you know. Anyway, when it comes to the Meta Girls, you have to think they have grown on me. I really love them in and out of the ring. So yeah. When it comes to Roxanne and Cora, I'm trying to figure out, are they friends? Are they frenemies? Are they enemies? What are we calling y'all?
Honestly confused.
I really am.
Whiplash. That's what we're calling them.
And then we have Fatal Influence with Fallon. That girl was done so dirty. But you know what? I'm going to keep my mouth closed.
That's the pour of the tea they could resume back with talking about the fall of Fallon Henley right off that horse.
Oh, no, for real. Y'all did her so dirty, but you know, what do I know? Because I don't write these storylines. But if we did, I think they'd be great. And then we would. And then we have Tatum and Dolin. Is that correct? And it's been an interesting pairing to see. First of all, Tatum was with Lyra, and then Lyra went up. Tatum was trying to, try to kick it with Wendy Chu, but then she left.
She's over in Evolve now.
That's why I said she left. I didn't want to put her out like that.
What's wrong with Evolve?
Nothing.
Exactly.
And then now she's with Gigi, or Gigi. And so let's see how this pairing works. They've done well. It seems like they're doing well, but can they do well enough to take the tag titles?
Well, this is to earn the shot at it first, you know.
You
But you also have to think that it also means that the team that would be coming in to defend them would have had to win or retain it at WrestleMania just 48 hours before. That's a quick turnaround to go from Las Vegas all the way back to Orlando. Actually, let me correct that because I forgot NXT is going to be in Vegas. They're going to wrap up the week there, so no travel involved. But also the team that wins this, granted, will have to go through 2 more teams than the other ones, but we'll also have 2 more days worth of rest. So there's definitely some advantages. For those who've never been with us, you can put your vote. Hang on, there.
He's finding it.
I'm finding it. Give me a second. The camera reverses when you're doing this. YouTube.com/AddOnTheRingApron. You go under our community page and you can place your votes there. All of this is live, including this and both nights of WrestleMania are also already up at the moment. It's a handful of votes going through, but too early to tell where any of these are standing at the moment. This is our last run, by the way. Stand and Deliver counts each as 1 point. All of the WrestleMania matches, though, will count as 2. And not only will it wrap up Season 5, which is going to possibly be an Alyssa 3-peat.
I doubt it.
I was going to say, I took year 1, Kia's took 2 and 3, and then Alyssa took 4 and 5. So, or something like that. But either way, I just get to wear it because Alyssa said I could. OTRAs have never won it, but they do enter WrestleMania weekend with the lead by a single point, as you can see on the scoreboard below us. I've got the lead amongst the three of us, so I go first. When you look at just the individual talent, if this was an individual match, you'd easily go Roxanne and Cora because they have the most experience, they have the most, basis for wanting to be able to win this match. The other side of the coin, you have other competitors such as Fallon, Henley, Jacy, Jayne, Gigi, Dolin, who have experience in the tag team division and winning tag team gold both together or separately. That being said, only one of the teams has been able to do so at the biggest stages, going all the way to Saudi Arabia, going on Monday Night Raw, going on to PLEs, and I feel like it's the team that if they get just one more shot at it, they can be able to conquer, whether it's Raquel and Liv or if it's going to be a tired Lyra and Bayley coming back down. I'm going to take the Meta Girls to win this one, and I'm actually going to take, I don't care which side wins at Mania, I'm actually going to take the Meta Girls taking the titles because we won't make a prediction on that. Alyssa, you're up next.
Well, I don't think we need much explanation because Steven gave it, but...
I tend to do that. I'm good at this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the numbers. It even says that. I mean, I'm not much better, but,
1 year.
Right.
Don't know how to act no more.
You really don't.
I'm talking about left from the sweepers last year.
I was running for my life from the street sweepers, just trying to finish the run before it was over because I was way back there.
Way up there.
It's alright. Shut the fuck up. But no, in all seriousness, I'm also going to take the Meta Girls. They have been doing it consistently. They have been right there competing like every single time, and I feel like it's always one little thing that they're missing, one little thing, and I feel like it's a little hesitation because at the time I don't think they were ready, but they absolutely have grown since they started putting them in the main title tag team title picture, and boy, they move like each other's shadow. I think they will absolutely take it.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to go the exact opposite. I'm not going to say the Meta Girls. Not that I don't like them. Again, they've grown on me, and I feel like they're one of the best teams in this thing. I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm going to pick Fatal Influence. I'm going to pick Jacy, Jayne, and Fallon Henley to get the shot to win the title. And with all respect, I feel like they're just like the Meta Girls in my opinion. I feel like they could go and take those titles from whoever has them at the time. So that's my pick personally.
And, you're already starting to see folks, especially with Roxanne Perez, you're seeing, her already getting matches on SmackDown, etc. So, I mean, I don't think you're going to necessarily need to push her as a tag team competitor unless just there is a full plan to send Cora up with her, which may not be out of the realm, but I'm not necessarily sure they need to go up as a team.
They don't because, with all respect, Cora's been injured. She's, like, kind of snake-bitten. And as much as I did not like Roxanne has been here, and even though she's been irritating and a pain in my ass, I'd prefer to have a pain in my ass and have her be here, like, doing the damn thing, and saying that she's going to. When she said she's going to go...
trying to watch her not try to break down there.
When she says she's going to go do something, she's going to go do something. I'd rather have that. No offense to people that get injured and are sidelined, but... I need you to stay healthy to go ahead and go. You know what I mean?
Now, speaking of going ahead and going, let's move into it because we spent 14 minutes on the pre-show match. So now let's actually get into the main card. 6 matches that are on this one. Let's start off with our first one, and that is going to be the 6-man tag team match of absolute bitter hatred, bitter issues with each other as the D'Angelo family, which feels like it has been on the wrong end of luck, left and right over the last several months, is finally going to bring things to a head as Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stax Lorenzo, and Luca Crucifino will end up going up against 3 chosen members of the faction known as DarkState. DarkState making their official debut just 2 weeks ago in NXT, and they ultimately defeated all 3 men that were in the main event for this Stand and Deliver PLE, albeit because of the fact that Oba and Trick were more focused on beating up each other, leaving Javon there to kind of get his tail kicked by himself. Wasn't so bouncy that night. The only thing he was bouncing off of was the cardboard underneath the ring. But DarkState has definitely come in. and taken 4 names, like you look at Dion Lennox, you look at Cutler, you look at folks like that, and you say, hey, you know, they're doing something with it. It's very Shield-esque, you know, where they come in, they kind of do what they want to do. They are forcing these guys to be recognized and forcing them to be seen. And we've seen this type of thing work before in WWE. Of course, we just mentioned the Shield. But then you look at, like, the Wyatt family. You look at other folks that would just consistently come in, you know, do their thing, get out. You know, we have seen it crash and burn once, though, in NXT, and that was it Retribution or...
Oh, my God. Don't even bring that up.
I was going to say, that one had all the right pieces, but they didn't implement it right. And as a result, almost every person that was part of that faction's career died thanks to that. So,
well, one person got their career kind of back, but, you know.
But so far, you know, DarkState seems to be, you know, landing pretty well, and now an opportunity to go up against the family that's literally done it all. They've won North American Championship. They've won the Tag Team Championships. They've been Heritage Cup champions. You know, the only thing, the NXT title's the only thing that's missing from the resume of, you know, the 3 men that will be competing in the D'Angelo family. The only thing you worry about with the family is maybe a little bit of, well, I'm not going to say that, but cracks in the armor because Stax is trying to assert his authority, and now Tony has clearly told him, don't go behind me anymore. If I don't call it, we don't run it. So, Kia, we'll start with you on this one. You know, we know how much your feelings are for Channing and for, you know, where things stand on this, but, you know, are we starting to potentially see, is DarkState finally getting the crack far enough where maybe we might see something?
I'm going to go ahead and say I do like the assertiveness of Stax. Yeah, I do like the assertiveness of Stax and what he's trying to bring to the table. Yes, he is the underboss. I don't want to be... I'm going to say it like this. You're not Tony D. You're his right-hand man or left-hand man. So whatever he says technically goes. It's technically his family, and he's been recruiting people. He recruited you first because he saw something in you. Then it was Lady Rizzo, and then now it's Luca Crucifino, if I got that correctly. So the fact that you felt like you needed to, and then on top of that, you went behind his back. He didn't even know, but somehow he came prepared and he was ready. So I felt like he had an inkling in the force. And you decided to want to beat up DarkState again. That's good and great and all, but I feel like y'all need to, that cohesion, you need to have that cohesion. Y'all need to speak about it before you go do it. And even if you sit here and you have a one-on-one like y'all have normally done in the past, hey, just run the plan by Tony D. If he likes it, he's going to give you the okay. If he doesn't, he's not going to. But the fact that that was done behind his back, there is cracks. And if DarkState is smart, they will try to drive the wedge even further between them. Also, did y'all see how he checked on Stax before he chewed his ass out?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're still gonna make sure he's all right first. It's like when your kid falls down because he did something silly or wasn't listening. You're gonna make sure he or she's all right first. Then you're gonna let him have it. Like, and okay, now what did we learn on this one?
Right.
You know, but make sure their melon isn't nice and broken first. You see though, and Alyssa, we'll go to you on this one. The one thing that Tony's had throughout his time here has been that, yes, he is, the boss of the family, but he's wanted to be a respectable boss. He's wanted to be one who does things the right way. Yes, he's going to get the upper hand, but he's going to know that it is a definitive win once he gets it. He is the only person still to this date who still holds not 1 but 2 pinfall victories over Obafemi, which is quite the accomplishment in of itself. So he's proven time and time again that he knows what he's doing, and if he plays his cards right, but a bump because we're in Vegas, he is capable of, doing fantastic things. Stax, though, has proven that he is a person that is going to win by whatever means necessary. And you've even seen title matches where Tony had a shot and, Stax would throw him a crowbar or something and he had every opportunity to use it and win. Tony didn't want to win that way. He lost the tag title opportunity. He's lost the NXT North American title because of it. So, it's just a difference in styles. Is Stax going to be able to be okay with staying with the way Tony wants things done?
I mean, I feel like everybody's going to have to, and when I say everybody, I mean everybody in the family, is going to have to decide who they want to be. Like, Tony has decided he wants to be like by the book. He wants to be respected. He wants to do everything his way. If he wins, great. If not, I'll get him next time, and there's a certain respect to that. And I feel like everybody's going to have to make their decision when it comes to who they want to be as a person in the ring and outside of the ring. I don't feel like, let me say it like this. I don't want to say I don't feel like there's a right or a wrong answer there. Hey, if the crowballer is there, I love me a heel, so I don't think it's always a bad thing, but I feel like there is a certain level of respect that comes with doing it on your own and not really needing it. I think Stacks is getting to the point where it's time for him to make the decision on who he wants to be, because you could definitely see him being more independent now, where he's more inclined to be like, okay, look, I'm not the boss. I'm doing what I think is right. I'm making calls because I'm not the underboss for no reason. And I feel like he's starting to get to that point where he's either going to have to, step on his own or fall in line. And I hate to say fall in line, but, where he's going to have to decide what he wants to do. But I think he knows in the back of his mind, if he does decide, because I know all of us in the room saw it, but that look between him and Tony last night when Tony came to save him, and he's like, hey, don't question me again. And Stacks is just kind of sitting there like, all right, I heard you. And they both have that look on their face like, all right, that's your last shot right there. That's your last chance, mucka like.
And the one other thing to note is we talk about Luca and Lady Stacks and Rizzo in this one as well. And you could tell that when, they found out that, Tony didn't sign off on this parking lot brawl, that's not how we do things. That's not how things, and ultimately, they stayed with Stacks because that's still family. But at the same time, you can tell they were not comfortable going against Tony or going behind Tony's back with this. Right. So I do agree that I think we're going to see potentially something here. And DarkState, not just with this group, but with a number of people inside of NXT, have been able to find a way to drive those wedges and be able to take advantage of that chaos. It seems to be where they're at their best. And I definitely could potentially see something here. So, Alyssa, we turn to you. It's 6-man tag, but it's actually in the ring this time. Who takes it?
I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place on this one, because my head is going with one group, my heart is going the other. I think ultimately, this match is going to be a lot closer than we're thinking. But I think I'm going to have to go with the family. I think they're going to find a way. I think they're going to find that, but I do see some type of turn coming. I won't be shocked if it's here, but I do see some type of change coming. I just don't know if they'll do it during the match.
Well, there have been some speculations about Tony getting called up, and, this would be a good time for it to potentially happen, and maybe there is just a mutual handoff or something like that where you allow Stacks to be able to, at that point take over the family, but maybe it starts going more in a heelish direction than there needing to be a heel turn. Kia?
I'm not gonna pull no punches. I don't like DarkState. I don't. So my pick is going to be for the family. I feel like if Tony's guiding them, they'll be fine. My only concern is if there is anything that's going to happen, like we've all speculated, or I'm going to speculate right here on the record, I see someone turning, and with all respect, I don't honestly see Tony, but it could be. I see it being more Stacks turning, because every time, he's tried to help the Don does not want to have no help, or he's wanted to do it the honest way, which by the way is respectable. But you're sitting here looking at it, it's like, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to give you the hands up or the foothold that you need to win this match, and every time I do that for every match, you're turning it down. So could that harbor some resentment on him? And he's not showing it because he's trying to keep everything together. I feel like, in my opinion, the family is going to have it won, and then Stacks going to flip sides, and I hate saying that.
And I don't think it'll have anything to do necessarily with him joining DarkState or anything. I think it's just going to be he's finally he's ready to take over it on his own, and is ready to do it full mob style.
Right.
And for that exact reason, that's why I'll go the other direction. I will take DarkState in this match because I think like I mentioned earlier, they thrive best in chaos. And right now, the D'Angelo family is as close to chaos as they've ever been before. Tony likes things under a certain control. He likes it underneath a certain level of respectability. And right now, the family doesn't have any. And even inside of his own troops, he's having issues with being able to keep, his underboss, with him. And ultimately, I do wonder if it's not necessarily just a turn, but maybe just a fact that maybe the trust just isn't 100% there. And all it takes is that little slip, and DarkState has been taking out the best of the game up to this point. So I think the chaos works out in their favor. So I'm going to take DarkState.
Okay. Well, you can be in that boat by yourself.
Wonderful. 1 point up, 2. But we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, next one up. Let's move into the 6-woman ladder match that will decide the new NXT Women's North American Champion. Now, for the second time this year in Las Vegas, the North American Women's title will be decided in a ladder match. Alyssa and I went to UFC Arena in Vegas earlier this last summer.
Yeah, we almost melted on the concrete.
Ooh, that was hot. But, I mean, it's Vegas. I mean, it's still going to be toasty where we're at, but not what it was when we went last time. But ultimately, for the second time, as I said, defended in a ladder match. The title was originally held at one point by Stephanie Vaquer, who was holding the NXT Women's title at the same time. She vacated it in exchange for her being allowed to handpick her Stand and Deliver opponents, which we will get to a little bit later. And ultimately, this was vacated to where 6 more women were able to make the card. Former champion and ladder match winner Kelani Jordan is going into it as no doubt the favorite of the match. But then you also see Zaria and Ruca, who have become a fantastic team together. You have Lola Vice, who always seems like she's just one step away from championship level. Izzi Dame starting to make herself more well-known, especially now that she will be the only member of the culling that will be competing at Stand and Deliver. And then the returning Thea Hale, who came back after her tenure away from Chase U after its dismissal and pulled the upset of Carmen Petrovic last night on NXT to get her way into it. Thea now running things by herself. As she said in her theme, she's now a grown-ass woman.
Right.
So we will see what happens. Ladder matches, chaotic. You're going to see a lot of, good maneuvers, good placements, everything else. As I said, I feel like, Kelani is probably the favorite, but ladder matches tend to be right place, right time. I know Alyssa's feelings on ladder matches because you get up there, somebody missed the spot, and you're just...
Dangling.
But either way, this has all the making to build up the next star. And it always seems like every Stand and Deliver, there has to be at least one ladder match. I'm remembering Adam Cole from a few years ago when the North American title was first shown off. So it does seem appropriate. But Alyssa, what are your thoughts on this one going all the way around?
Let's see.
Or not, your choice.
Ruca and Zaria have been doing their thing. I know we've seen a lot more of them like tagging together, being more partners. So it'll be interesting to watch them two compete head to head versus with each other. So I look forward to seeing how that kind of plays a role in the deciding factor. Izzi has been getting more time with the culling. She's been having more exposure. Has she been fighting?
She's been more managerial in terms of culling, but she definitely has been getting a lot more matches as of late.
I was about to say, I know of things that I remember about her, she's very confident in the ring. She's very, her presence is very known there. So it'll be interesting to see her in a ladder match. Kelani has been more on the heel side lately, so it'll be interesting to see how she goes into this one, if she'll be more hook and crook than last time. I know last time she was pretty clean, across the board. She would kind of take advantage of her times there, but I'm curious to see if she'll throw somebody off the ladder. I wouldn't mind because I need a good laugh. When it comes to Lola, I think, Steven, you hit the nail on the head when it came to Lola. Lola has always been one step out. She's always been one step, and it's every time you see that girl, you're like, how does she not have gold on her? Because, she's really good on the mic. She knows how to pull your heartstrings. She knows how to get you invested into something. So we'll see if they put it on her. And Thea coming back.
That was a surprise.
I said, wow.
And then not only that, she won.
And won. Because I remember y'all sitting there saying, all right, it's going to be Carmen. And I was like, okay.
When I saw it was against Thea, I was like, well, that means Carmen's advancing. And I was wrong. I'll be hey, look, I'm man enough to admit when I was wrong. I immediately said, well, Carmen's advancing. And I was wrong.
I'm excited to see how she learns. Excuse me. I'm excited to see how she learns from. I'm excited. Pollen, y'all. Pollen, okay? Calm down. But,
does Vegas have pollen? Somebody let us know. Somebody put it in the comments.
I don't think so. All I need,
I
need to go back to Puerto Rico because they ain't have a lick of nothing out there other than hot air. But anyway, but no. Currently fighting for my life over here. Excuse me. But no, when it comes to Thea, I'm excited to see what she's learned because that baby right there has been going through trials, tribulations, had her friends, lost friends, had her school, lost school, everything. So I'm excited to see what she's learned. I see she's still got the same yell. We're gonna mind our business. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the match goes. Ladder matches are definitely not my favorite. So y'all know I'll be cringing in my seat as I watch this, especially if I have to watch the little cat swat. But we're gonna mind our business and move on, kid.
Little cat swat. Can we do that one more time?
Little cat swat.
Sorry.
That's how
you know what? Any wrestling fans knows exactly what we're talking about. Somebody's late to their spot, so you gotta act like, oh, it's right. Like,
you don't
give me that.
If you don't grab that junk and come on, I'm tired of looking at you playing.
When it comes to this match, I know who my favorites are, and I know who my favorite isn't. To everybody but Soul, I wish you all the best. I don't feel like, if it wasn't for Zaria, is that how you pronounce her name? She would not even be relevant, honestly.
Hey, you were talking about the WWE Speed Champion right now. Women's Speed Champion right now.
That's good and great.
Put some respect on her name.
You got that. That's good and great. Okay, I'm looking at Izzi Dame. She grinds your gears. She makes you hate her, but in all actuality, you really like the fact that she, like Alyssa said, she carries her confidence to the ring, in the ring, when she's fighting, when she's doing promos, when she's managing. She carries her confidence with her. And then
Paula's really doing her in.
It's trying to take me out, y'all.
And then you have Zaria, who has come in, and she, straight out the gate, has been in, like, for me, she reminds me of Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon. That's what I see when I see her. She's been in that mode. She's been in her lane doing what she's supposed to do. So this pairing, I'm going to need them to separate because I don't like it. When it comes to Kelani, like you said, Kelani, my bad.
She will not have you insulting her singer. She does it to me too, so it ain't nothing new.
You can't even pronounce the name, so what are you talking about?
Hey.
When it comes to Kelani, she kind of reminds me of Naomi, but for the NXT people. You know what I mean? She's kind of got that feel to her. I'm excited to see what she does and how she does. I feel like she'll be fine going into this because she's kind of gotten a thicker skin. She's built a thicker skin for herself since she's kind of, gone from good girl gone bad. When it comes to Lola, I love Lola. I really do. She's come for me, she's come from shaking her butt and her hips and everything to just dancing to, all right, I'm going to get it in. I'm going to get you, and I'm not playing with you. You think I'm...
Jay.
Right. You think I'm small. You think I'm short. You think I can't do this. You think I've got all this going on. That's fine. I'm going to show you. She did it with Shayna, and she's been doing it ever since. So for me, you got this girl. And when it comes to Thea, oh my God, y'all know how her, like, what's the sound that she makes when she used to come out with, like, that used to grind my gears. Now, she's gone away. She's come back. I was excited to see her. I really was. I love Thea. She literally, before she left, was starting to do the damn thing. And she, like Alyssa stated, I'm pulling from Alyssa again. She has learned multitudes of things, good, bad, right, wrong, what to do. She's learned how to trust people, not trust people. I feel like she had to go away for a little bit, reflect, and come back. And the fact that she got a new theme, baby, that new theme needs to tell you everything you need to know about this woman. She grown at this point. She gonna do grown-up stuff, like, one of our, like, employees likes to say. You gonna do the grown-up thing. Good for you. So, when it comes to this match, I'm excited.
And you're also up first, so you can make your pick.
Oh, okay. Damn.
We have no chance of sneaking this under an hour if we don't speed up.
I have 2 picks, but I'm gonna go with one. I'm going with Thea Hale.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like we just saw what she did last night, and yeah, that's my pick. Wholeheartedly.
That would definitely be a shocker for sure, considering that she wasn't even in anyone's frame of reference up until last night. So that would definitely be a nice swing of pace. I don't think lightning strikes twice here. I think the thicker skin on Kelani Jordan, I think, has done well for her, and I think she will definitely show her aptitude in this one. I think the moment is here, though. I think it's Lola Vice's time. I do like Lola, too. And you know what? That's a problem when I get to go first. Have the lead next time. Probably. Either way, Lola's been this close. She's had multiple opportunities. She even had a contract where she had a chance to cash in last year at Vengeance Day. Wasn't able to get the job done. At this stage, it is time to finally either put up or shut up for Lola, and I do think that this is the moment where she's going to get her opportunity. If this had been any other type of match, I would think Zaria would probably be up there because she's the one of the new 3 that hasn't won anything yet. And she may very well get her moment, but I do feel like Lola's the right pick here.
Well, now that both of them have taken both of my picks.
Well, I'm so sorry.
I also am going to end up choosing Lola. I feel like this is her time. And if not here, then going after the main title when it's time for that. But I do like her to get the job done here. Because she's very good in chaotic situations.
She is.
Mm-hmm. She's very good. She's got very good ring awareness. So
and it's
I think that'll go along with her.
Right.
And we move into our next match, which is for the NXT Tag Team titles, as Fraxiom, the team of Nathan Frazer and Axiom, in their second run as champion and have been an absolute powerhouse of a team over the last several months, will get their toughest challenge to date, probably sans the Hardys over in TNA, as they will battle the Gauntlet winners Hank and Tank, who ran the table and won 4 consecutive matches in a row last night on NXT to earn that long-awaited title match. Hank and Tank hadn't been able to get a win in nearly 3 months and had been frustrated about it, and then they managed to win 3 matches in one night. So, go figure. 4, excuse me. A title match well earned. Fraxiom seems like they're competing at another level, and with the exception of their one loss to the Hardys recently on NXT, they have been absolutely running the tag team division, even proclaiming themselves as being arguably the best tag team in the world at this time. So it's definitely hard to argue when you have seen the type of matches they've been putting on, but the question is, are they good enough, or are Hank and Tank finding their momentum at just the right time?
I will say Fraxiom have been, especially now that they've been dialed in, because I know we went through that little phase where they kind of, were both focused on singles things, came back to each other, then the other one would be focused on singles things, and then would come back. Since they've been back together, since the second title run, they have been on another level. And even with their match against the Hardys for TNA, they were right there with them.
Yeah, that was a fantastic back and forth. You knew that was going to be a barn burner.
They were right there with them. There were a few times when I was in there, like, they're about to take them TNA titles. Like, we're about to see the first crossover. But I mean, ultimately they kept it where it needed to be. But you could even see the respect on the Hardys when they were like, "Dang, y'all are really right there, like toe for toe."
That's one thing you can say about Fraxiom is the fact that you may like them or don't like them. The fact is, the moment their music hits and they're going to be involved, you're in for a good match.
Oh yeah, I was about to say Hank and Tank on the other hand, I can say every time I would watch them, they'd just be able to. We need to get a win. We need to do something. They just be hyping themselves up, and then boom, all of a sudden I turn around and here they are, 3 wins, first contenders. I'm like, wow. Okay, but I mean, maybe they are getting hot at the right time. You never know. They could throw a swerve in there at you.
Well, you wonder also, where, we've been seeing Frazer and Axiom getting used in singles competition, most of the time getting split in half by Braun Breaker, but that's another story. But the reality is,
Neither here nor there.
you're starting to see them getting little catch singles matches here and there on Raw and on SmackDown. So you do wonder if the main roster is starting to look at them, and that's the whole reason you do these little call-up matches here and there, is because you want the roster to be able to, see what's available in NXT before you start moving into the draft, because, of course, now that you have shows like Evolve, you've got folks that are trying to evolve into NXT, so that means you need to be moving up the ladder or move out of the way. Yeah?
Not much to say. I'm ready to make my pick.
That's speeding up a little too much, but that's okay. At the end, we've had a chance to see, Fraxiom, go at it head-to-head. We've also seen them, win gold, lose gold, win it back. So we know they are beatable, but at the same time, you have to have a great match in order to be able to beat, Frazer and Axiom. Hank and Tank, yes, granted, they managed to pull it together for one night, but this is when we're going to find out whether it was a fluke, because it's very different to pull out wins at NXT, but now you are getting a tag team title match at the biggest event that NXT has all year. So when those lights are on the brightest, you wonder if they're going to be able to live up to their hype or whether it'll be just too much.
I honestly feel like if they spoke that into existence, that's good for them. Maybe they need to kind of run with that, just keep speaking it into existence and let's see how it plays out. Also, your skill and your talent should, also help too. But, look at who you're going against.
Right. And, we've seen this story once before. I'm up first on this one. We saw it about 6 or 7 years ago at WrestleMania when you had Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, who Hawkins hadn't won a match in, a year or something like that, and then all of a sudden, not only does he win, but they win the Raw Tag Team titles at the same time. Mm-hmm. Granted, not quite at that scale, but we've seen something like this before. Fraxiom's on a different level right now, and I like Hank and Tank. They've been a fun team to watch, but of all the teams that Fraxiom has faced up to this point, it feels like they are the ones that, to be honest, have been the least likely team to be able to take them down. The Hardys have decades of, working together, so it's no surprise that even though they're, older, they still had, the competitive edge because they've been teaming together for 30-some-odd years. Hank and Tank, just aren't quite there. I could see them winning tag team gold, but not here. Fraxiom knows how to handle things when the lights are on bright. I like them retaining.
I was about to say that too. I'm going to take Fraxiom. I think you hit a nail on the head. You have to have a perfect match against them. And even when it's a perfect match against Fraxiom, you still got to make sure you hit that pinfall at the right time or else they don't do it. They are high flying, high energy, and I feel like they'll just keep moving. Like you've seen their entrance, they'll just keep on moving, and it's just a lot to catch them. So I like Fraxiom to retain.
Yeah.
Fraxiom.
Okay. Just go ahead and say what you need to say, because Nathan Frazer's little picture there has been bothering you since you saw it.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
It is what it is. Either way, Fraxiom across the board to retain.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I don't remember where the voting was. I just know it's too early to tell because, like I said, everything went up there. Again, if you're joining us halfway through, first of all, rewind. You can watch the rest of it. But also, you can place your votes up here. Voting goes live. Well, it's already live already, but it goes until the bell rings on Saturday for these particular matches. So you have an opportunity to be able to your voice heard. OTRA's a point ahead of me and a handful of points, but with over 30 available points this weekend to wrap up the season, it could literally go in a million different directions, and anyone could be champion. There's nobody truly eliminated at this time. But let's go and move into our next one, which is an opportunity at the North American Championship. A battle of stars in TNA, now turned NXT, as everyone's favorite, New Orleans' favorite, Ricky Saints.
Good God.
Let's see if Kia and Alyssa find him more attractive now that he has gold around his waist, as I said he would. It only took him 4 weeks.
He's amusing. I'm not gonna like.
I was about to say he does make me laugh.
He is a very funny person. I like to be able to laugh. You know, me and Alyssa do it all the time.
Sure.
But when he came in with the humor, that already said, okay, he's gonna grow on me. And then you're going against Ethan Page, who I hated when this man came in, but ever since he's come in and he's gone heel and he's gone up against Trick and Javon and everybody else, it's like...
He was a face at some point?
He's gone against everybody else. I never said he was face. I said he was a heel. Heel. You know what I meant. It's just, at this point in time, he's my favorite. Between the two, he's my favorite. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Is he going to do what he normally does and pull out all the stops to get what he truly wants, and that's the title that Ricky Saints is holding?
Well, I also noticed that for the first time in a while, it's been a while since we've had a title on NXT that has bounced around as often as it has. You usually are used to, now we live in a WWE where the champion tends to hold the championship for 100, 150 days, 200 days, 1,316 in some instances. But we don't talk about that here. Ignore that Ula Fala right behind Alyssa back there on that beautiful standee.
With the nice hands she wants to take to the movies.
Who'd like to take to the movies.
Right.
But, we've seen the wars between these two. We know these two don't like each other. This dates back through several promotions. You can go back to TNA. Saints obviously doing time in AEW as well. You look at both of them, they battled in New Japan. Both of them battled in Lucha Wrestling. So, they absolutely have a lot of history together. So it seems like a match made in heaven. And I will agree, I'll piggyback on what Kia's saying. Ethan Page, when he first got here, oh my Lord, he found a way to grind your gears so easily. And they have found a way to take a person that was already irritating and found a way to make him still irritating, but also to the point where you almost find yourself liking him. Because it's like he's, at this point, unapologetic for the person he's going to be versus trying to just be annoying. Now at this point, he's like, look at Javon. Hey, I'll break your jaw and won't think a second more about it. Obviously, both of these guys are, defeatable. Granted, Saints has not lost since he came to NXT. But at the same time, this will also be his first defense, and look where it happens. So Page has definitely an experience advantage in front of this crowd.
I was about to say, that is one thing where all of us are in agreement. We had many talks when Ethan Page first got here about how we did not like him. And how he could go back to where he came from, okay? You can pick whichever promotion you want to go to. We'll flip a coin for you. You can decide where you want to go from there. But you can go on and stay over there now. But the farther we have gone, the more he has been here. I feel like, in my opinion, he's gone from being annoying, from being that when he comes out to just being like, look, at the end of the day, I'm here to do what I'm here to do. I'm here to fight. I'm here to wrestle. And I feel like that's exactly what he's coming to do. You want to step up to me? That's fine. I'll break your jaw. We'll keep it pushing.
Right.
We'll keep it fighting. We'll keep talking. I don't need to do all that talking, And I like that. I do. I love me a bad boy. I'm sorry. I apologize for nothing. They kill me because they're funny. Is he funny?
Ethan Page?
Page?
Yes.
He's making me laugh. He be making me laugh.
It's the simple stuff.
I would say Page has definitely grown on all three of us since he first got here. He was dry as ever when he got here.
I'm like, whenever somebody new comes in, I think y'all can tell. I'm like, because I feel like they jump to the front. And I don't like that when you have people who are here like Trick, people who are here like Oba, people who are here that work their behind off.
Well, the irony that you say that, because remember where Page made his debut.
Oh, I know.
It was right in Vegas.
Right. I didn't like him then. Didn't care. I was like, okay. But no, like I said, he can pack his bag and roll on back. But, I mean, now he's established. He's more established. So I'm like, hey, that's that. Ricky Saints be killing me with this little... Because I'm like, what is it? Like, he cracks me up. I love how he's come in and been like, why are all of y'all so angry?
Right.
Like, because that's real. Everybody in life be so mad. And you just be like, why are you so... What's wrong with you? So I feel like he's come in and been funny from jump. So it's not like we're having to sit there and be like,
right,
who is you? What are you doing here? Like, I haven't thought like that for him, but I feel like you have to give kudos where kudos are due. Ethan Page has definitely come into the fold a little more, at least here in our house, and I'm here for it.
All right, well, Alyssa, you're up first on this one. So, who do we got?
Okay, so this is head and heart, but I think I'm gonna go with Ricky. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Saints to retain. It's his first defense, right?
Correct.
First defense. I don't see him being well. Yeah, we just gonna pick him. We just gonna keep it pushing before I think myself out of it.
She'll overthink her way into a different decision.
Yeah, I will. I'll end up with Ava walking out with the daggone title if you let me think long enough. So we just gonna keep it pushing. Okay, let's go.
Nobody wins it.
Swear to God.
Ladder match. It seems to be what they do at every Stand and Deliver.
Oh, let's do it better.
Kia, who you got?
I'm gonna go Ethan Page because if he made his debut in Vegas, I feel like I'll roll the dice for you.
It's time.
I'll roll the dice for you, but it's I need you to take the title back. And me saying that.
Will also be interesting because if he ends up not winning, this would be 2 title matches inside of a single calendar or transition year period where he would have gotten a title match in Las Vegas and would have lost them both.
Right.
Both of them one-on-one too.
I feel like he needs to win this one.
And I can definitely see why, and I can see why a push for Page, would definitely be in the books. But I think it's too early in his run. I do think that Saints will eventually lose it relatively soon. I don't think he's meant to be in NXT for very long, but also at the same time, I don't think he was main roster ready quite yet. But I do think this one, to me, screams match of the night. This one, to me, I think is one that nobody's really talking about. Quietly. Nobody's really doing it because everybody wants to talk about the two main title main events and the ladder match, which respectively, they deserve to be. But I think this is going to very quietly be the one that everybody will be talking about when all is said and done, and we're getting ready to, head off to Mania for Mania Saturday. With that being said, though, I am going to go with Saints to retain, though. I do think it's too early in his run for him to take an L here. So. And
it's nothing against Saints. I really do like him, but, let's go Paige. Let's go.
I see Paige in the main title picture.
No, the problem is the main title picture is getting filled up in a hurry, but we'll be hitting there in a moment. But that's the one thing you can say. I mean, if you're in NXT, if you don't take advantage of your shot when you've got it, there are too many other big names around there. And, and if you need living proof of that, it sits right in your 2 main events, one of which we're going to move into right now, which is the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Championship. All 4 of these women, first of all, 3 of them were not even on the roster at the time of Stand and Deliver last year. So that tells you just how quickly people can be able to get to the top of what is supposed to be defined as the toughest women's division in the entire world. At this time last year, Julia was wrestling in New Japan. Vakura was splitting time between AEW and New Japan. Jordan Grace was the Knockouts champion over there battling with Trinity over in TNA. Jada Parker was the only one that was in the roster, but she also was running with OTM at the time. So you see how, the saying goes, 1 year can change a lot. And exactly where it stands here, that you look at some of the women that you're talked about. We've talked about champions like Kelani Jordan. We've talked about Fallon Henley. We've talked about Roxanne, Perez, Cora, Jade, we can reel the names on and off, and yet these are the 4 women that ultimately get to be in the women's main event of Stand and Deliver. Whichever one of you wants to go with it. I know, Alyssa, you had your feelings on Julia and Vakura, very quickly getting to the start of the line. Do you think that in their time here they have earned the right up to this stage to be able to be in this main event spot versus someone who's been here like Jada Parker?
I was about to say, I think Vakura has definitely stepped in and gotten my respect because that girl was a double champion.
The champ.
And that girl was a champ. and defended in both nights and overcame the interference that she knew was coming. So I feel like she has definitely earned my respect. I don't think I mean, Julia was there longer, so I was like, okay. And she also, didn't she end Roxanne Street?
She did.
So,
right at the beginning of this year.
Let me be very clear about my issue. I don't like when they automatically step in and boom, there you are, taking
So,
in the streets
would
and
that
stuff.
give you a problem with Jordynne Grace in this match, then?
I mean, Jordynne Grace, here's the thing with Jordynne Grace. You've seen more of her. She was here before she was here, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I don't necessarily have as much of an issue. I don't like how she interferes with other people. I said what I said. I don't. But, because like Jada had her.
Let's say what.
Sorry!
Okay, I got you.
Jada had her. I like Miss Parker. Come on. Miss Parker's attitude is amazing. I love her. She's hilarious. But I don't like how she interfered with her. I mean, and I get it. That's part of it. That's going to be part of everybody wrestling, you know. There's going to be interference. But, like, don't do that. Pick somebody else, please. Especially when you got to beat. Like, come on.
I also like the fact that they have, made it very clear that, this whole mutual friendship, respect thing between Julia and Stephanie Valcour, that's done now at this point. Because Julia said, okay, look, we both put our titles on the line. You got the better of me this night. But also, if we were as close as we are and we both know we're fighting champions, there is no reason why I should not have been in the front of the line to get a rematch for the title. And yet I pretty much had to wait for you to say, hey, when is she getting her shot? And that just tells you the strength of the women's division when you have people like Jordynne Grace and Jada Parker sitting there amongst others. You had Fallon Henley competing against Valcour recently as well. It's too stacked. So at this stage, when you look at this competitive Fatal 4-Way, especially when you could arguably see any of the four women handling things, Kia, I mean, where does your mind end up heading in terms of a match of this caliber, knowing that there's no champion's advantage and it's really just right place, right time, when that moment arrives, who's ready for that biggest spotlight?
Okay, so for me, I'm going to say Jada Parker. Jada Parker's been here. She's done everything you've asked her to, from coming out as, well, I kind of feel like a valet for OTM, for being part of OTM, doing her thing. I think she kind of learned by being on the sidelines, but she wasn't on the sideline too long. She was in the ring as well. And also seeing that video package that we saw last night of her upbringing and how she came up and everything else, I feel like that's going to play a major role for her too. Now, mind you, this girl, when I say this girl talks trash with the best of them.
They do.
Oh, good grief! Yeah.
This girl talks. I don't think she's talking trash. I think she's just speaking.
If you have not had an opportunity to sit or to listen to ringside at a Jada Parker match, she's different than everyone else. Everybody else, yes, they're calling spots. Yes, they're talking a little bit. Jada Parker is the female. She is the female equivalent of what Roman Reigns was in the height of his tribal chief run, because of the fact that you ultimately look at it and she will tell you, yeah, I just put a boot in your face, and is going to make sure that the insult comes with the injury as well. She's going to hurt you just as much psychologically, and she knows she's probably going to take a punch in the back of the head at some point for it, but doesn't mind.
Okay. When it comes to Valcour, did I say it correctly? She has been doing her thing. I don't care what you say. I did not, like Alyssa said, and I'm in the same boat with you. When they just showed up on the scene, and you have to think, I can understand from Jada Parker's how she feels. Y'all just kind of showing up here. Y'all just what is this?
Right, we just hopping in line.
Right. I'm on Jada time. I've been here longer than all you, and y'all taking my spot? I don't think so. But Valcour has shown up, and she has put in the time. And when we say people show up and they actually make the time for this business, they make the time to come in and do what they need to do to be respectable, to get those wins or those losses or whatever. And she's been that, and I'm not mad at it. When it comes to Julia, I like her. She's great and whatnot. But that's all you can really say about her. She's great. I need to see more than great. I need to see more than acceptable. I need to see you going out there and you gonna pull a Stephanie Valcour on some asses. Don't be sitting here, know, I don't want no mousy champion. I need someone like Vakar who doesn't have to say much. Be in the middle of the ring. You want to fight? Bring it. I'm right here. And when it comes to Jordynne Grace, Alyssa stated it best. Baby, if you get in my way, I'm going to knock you down. And that's what Jordynne needs to say to the side when she's not involved. If you're not involved, don't put yourself in it. They're not there to see you at that moment. They will make time for you. Just stay out the way. You're cool. I like you. You're, Sabrina Carpenter's buffer cosplay. But it is what it is. Stay out of the way unless you're needed, okay?
Oh, good grief. So, Kia, you're up first.
Jada
Out of all that, Jada Parker?
Jada Parker. I'm pulling for you. I need you to talk so much crap so when I'm sitting at a bar watching this, I need to know this girl is going to take. She's going to take.
I'll tell you right now, Tailgate will go ballistic. If we're watching this one there, Tailgate will go ballistic if ultimately Jada Parker ends up taking this match because...
Who gonna be the most excited? I can tell you.
I'll tell you, there's gonna be Demario.
Right.
Demario gonna lose his shit.
We gonna be sitting in the same boat. You got this, girl. This is your time.
Exactly. To me, it's like I can see any of these women being able to win it except Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace seems like the one puzzle piece that's not quite fitting for me here, because I feel like yes, she had her matches, but she was still very much a TNA knockout, and I feel like it's just been, hi, I'm here, so now give me the world title that belongs to me,
right?
Because that's where I'm supposed to be, and it hasn't set right with me. That being said, I was down to 2 picks, but I'm gonna stick with Kia here. This is the moment for Jada Parker. She has absolutely ready for that moment, and I feel like when the stage is the brightest, this is when you are going to build your next star, and Jada Parker has the mouth, the ring awareness, and the ability to be able to do it. This is her time. This is her moment. I think she's ready. I'm going to go Jada Parker.
If you watching this back and you watching YouTube, you heard that. You heard.
You also saw that I didn't pick Kelani earlier either.
Right,
so,
I hope you're hearing this.
Loyalties, hey, this is a show. Loyalties be damned here.
He falling off, y'all. Go ahead, Alyssa.
I know. Questioning that things now. My God.
I only got to say one word to either one of y'all. Scoreboard.
That's not what we were talking about.
We weren't talking about that.
You falling off. Okay. Alyssa, who you got?
Not falling off. We talking about you being Kelani guy, boy. Anyway.
You fell off from that. Loyalty.
Anyway.
Well, a woman should answer a message from time to time.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Alyssa.
Anyway.
Too much mellow on the brain.
Anyway, back to it. When it comes to Julia and Vakar, I think they're ready to go up. I think they've proven everything they need to prove over in NXT.
I'm surprised I even came to NXT.
Yeah, I was about to say, honestly. But I feel like they've done everything they need to do. They've checked every box they need to check. There are no more question marks. There are no more things that they really need to do. Both of them have held the big titles, and they've done what they needed to do in NXT. Jordynne Grace, I think, has, I don't even want to say a little work to do. I just think she has a few people to rub off on, or like a few lessons to teach, and then she'll be ready. But I have to follow suit, you guys. Like, Jada has been doing everything you need her to do. That girl's fire on the mic. That girl can wrestle with the best of them. And also, she'll put eyes on the TV, regardless of your reasons.
Right.
But that girl will put eyes on
especially.
NXT. And it is time for her to get the next step. You've seen her do literally everything you needed her to do. She came through with OTM. Y'all, I've been fighting for my life not to say OTC. OTM, you're right.
This hand.
She has fought. She has done literally everything. I am not looking for help. I'm looking for them.
Right.
I will deal with you later.
That girl has been iconic. Roxanne, I will slap the taste out your mouth. I want this as my champion. I need this as my champion.
Because you know she gonna...
So let's do it. Let's bring it. It's time.
Can you imagine when she becomes champ? Baby, she ain't gonna shut up to no one.
Nobody gonna be able to tell her shit.
And also, who finna take it off of her?
Not me.
Great question.
That girl's gonna have it until she's tired. Until she's like, all right, I'm ready to move on.
Right.
Time to go.
Who come fight me?
Yeah.
My favorite thing about her was when it was time for her to fight. And she pulled off her hairpiece. Baby, you a bolder.
You know if the weave's coming out.
The ponytail came off.
The ponytail and the weave's coming out. You know it's serious, whatever it is.
Need this.
We need that as a champion.
We need this moment. We need it to happen. And Demario will be right there to be the first one to high five you when it happens.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's move to the main event. Triple threat match for the NXT Championship.
Oh God.
We've already burned our hour mark, so we're just gonna have to just eat it on this one.
Okay.
Watch this be the longest of the three. But once again, a little bit.
Hey.
It's Mania weekend. If you're not running long now, then when are you gonna run long? But a little bit of history yet again being made. Last year, the main event of Stand Deliver, 2 African American males competing in the Stand Deliver main event when Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes went head to head. Now you get 3 African American men, including the first Nigerian-born competitor. I love the fact that he said "Roll Tide" last night on NXT. That's right, Roll Tide, Oba. But you know, it's been a joy to see all 3 of these guys just transform their character over the last. For Oba and Trick, you could say a year. For Javon, over the last 6 months, because Javon almost overnight has gone from, okay, this guy's going to be a mid-carder at best, and I'm going to be silly, and I'm going to be funny, and everything else, to now a legitimate threat to be considered a world champion here in NXT. And also, he hasn't had a problem going up against 2 of the, if not the 2 biggest names in the men's division right now, with Oba and with Trick, who seem like they're more focused on trying to kill each other than they are necessarily, because Trick wants the championship back that he never feels like he should have lost to start with. You know, but then also at the same time, Oba has had no qualms about saying, look, I'll take on anyone, everyone. You know, send the roster out here, and I'll take them all out one by one. And for the most part, he has.
He really has.
Tony D has been the one person who seems to be his kryptonite, and he's luckily nowhere to be found in this match. And then, of course, you know, they can't seem to get along, because even when you've been consistently dealing with people like DarkState, who have been consistently in their business, they just seem like Oba and Trick are more content to just say, look, this almost feels like the Rhea Bianca Io situation, where Javon is the Io that kind of just keeps getting pushed out of the way. Like,
right,
you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
It's supposed to be Trick and Oba, and Javon has just found his way in, and you wonder, will he be good enough to take advantage of the chaos? With all respect,
let me go ahead and give Javon his props. I've been a Javon person since he stepped into the building, stepped into the ring, stepped into this division. I've been a big Javon person. So the fact that he did 180 and went from bouncy to, you know, silly, goofy, funny, whatnot. I think Ethan Page whooping him, like literally whooping.
That whooped that seriousness right on it.
Right.
I know you see that render.
Right.
He ain't smiling no more.
I think Ethan Page got a hold of him and, you know, had to
he literally beat the tough skin onto him.
Had to lockjaw him, literally, and that's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. Trick.
It's the crowd going nuts. You heard him in the back.
Right.
Cash in the back.
Thank you.
Said that.
Trick,
speaking of being bouncy,
I don't know what's going on with Trick. Trick seems like ever since he lost what belongs to him as his title, he's just kind of spiraled downward. I mean, he's still whooping people, but it's like Javon said it best. Week after week after week after week after week. That's probably why you had to take a break and go to Housewives. Okay.
Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you. So week after week after week after week, it's been the same gimmick. Doesn't change, hasn't changed, won't change. It is what it is. And I'm with all respect to Javon, he's correct. I'm tired of hearing it. Let's. Where's the Trick where you not gonna do no talking, you just gonna be about it? I need that Trick Williams to come back. I need the Trick Williams where Carmelo Anthony had to whoop each other. Excuse me, Mello, my bad. I'm thinking about basketball.
The basketball player?
Right.
Damn.
My bad. Mello. Sorry.
She shouldn't have shown her.
She did.
Okay, anyway.
Oh, Anthony, I said.
My bad. I need the Trick where him and Mello were fighting. I need that Trick Williams back. Whatever this is, if you had an out of body experience, jump back in and start handling business like you need to.
Well, I'm all for somebody having the blinders on, for somebody saying like, look, I am laser focused on getting to this one goal. But Trick at this point has just made a conscious decision. I am nothing without the NXT Championship. Now that I've had it, I can't live without it. And he feels still to this day that he didn't lose the championship justly because he lost it in a triple threat because of interference by other people. So he doesn't feel like it's the opportunity that he felt that he should have lost the championship on. Bravo to Oba for, taking advantage of that situation. But also, he sees what should have been the gold, the golden goose in this one, which should have been him and Oba one-on-one, for this championship. And it seems like each time that Trick is dangerously close to getting it, either he finally loses his cool or someone else is standing right there wanting the opportunity and ultimately getting into it. And that's why he keeps pushing Javon out of the way, because of the fact he's like, you're not supposed to be here. You're not jumping in front of me.
Can y'all hear Oba saying, I will not give this title to you.
To you.
That's what I hear in my head. Go ahead, Alyssa. I'm just...
That's like killing me.
Well, we're going to have to make sure we break before the Mania one. We're going to have to wait for the sun to clear or something.
Just a little bit.
Because you're starting to disappear.
Oh, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
All of a sudden we can float like something behind you, like a green screen or something. But either way, what you got?
In all seriousness, no. So when it comes to this one, yes, you've got to give Javon his credit. Yes, he has been doing his thing. He has definitely gone from bouncy to being kind of firmly planted on the floor. I think Ethan's fists, ankles, and toes toolbox, everything attached, did wonders for him. When it came to getting him serious, I think you saw him kind of grow up right there. And he has definitely done that. I know for a long time, I will admit it, I was one of those people that was like, okay, you're bouncy, what about it? I mean, everybody's bouncy.
Like, great.
If I trip on the floor, I'm a bounce. But,
Stop!
I'm just kidding. I probably will.
No, we're not.
But no.
At least if I'm going to do it, I'm doing it full Piper Niven style. Just
woo! But no.
Squish!
You've seen him really kind of grow up. And, like, I don't know if now's the time, but when he is ready, when it is time for them to pull that trigger on him, he is going to be locked in, laser focused. When it comes to Trick, I think you really did hit the nail on the head. With him not having the title, it's kind of like he's kind of lost a piece of him. And, I mean, I feel like you see that with a lot of people who are champion. Like, once they kind of aren't champion anymore, they kind of, I don't want to say backslide, but kind of go through, like, a little bit of character development, whether it's positive or negative. But you can definitely see him going through his thing. I do kind of agree with him, though. When it comes to wanting his title chance back, I wouldn't want to sit there and have people in my way either. Like, broski, you just saw me. I'm the one who's ready. It's me. And kind of get out my way. And I feel like every step of the way, we've talked about how Trick has had somebody right there with him. It's been Javon. It's like, little bro, back the hell up real quick. Just give me a little bit of breathing room.
Because that's all Trick's been asking for. Is he's like, look, I just want my one-on-one opportunity to get the gold back.
And I would be irritated too. I do not blame him. I absolutely see where he is coming from. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Bookies. I love y'all. Y'all are great. But you're going up against Darula. I think they keep forgetting. I think everyone keeps forgetting that Oba, even when he was in the what belt is that?
North American.
North American, yeah. Thank you. Even when he was in the North American, even when he was a North American champion, that man was taking on 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 12, whole roster.
And wiping them all out.
Wiping them all out. So I think even with him sitting there being like, hey, over here is focused with Trick and everything, that is still Oba Femi, and we need to remember that. Like, that man, he don't care. Big, small, big, tall, whatever. That man is ready.
And that's what's scary is the fact that it's like he is still in his first. He's still in his first year in NXT, and already you are hearing not if, but when you main event WrestleMania.
Right.
Like, it's a foregone conclusion that this man is going to be destined to main roster. We said the same thing about someone like Braun Breaker who went up. And, we said, Carmelo has the potential. I don't think they've done right storyline-wise by him because, with all due respect, where's Melo on the card this weekend?
Right. Nowhere.
Exactly. But that's another story. But, you look at people like Braun Breaker, built to be in the main event, and it may very well be that man right there who might be wars for the future. But Obafemi has all the tools. The question is, how long do you want him to stay at the top? And I'll go ahead and answer that one right now. He will continue to stay at the top. I do think that Trick's laser focus is going to be his ultimate hindrance because he can't get his mind off of Oba. And every time you said it, like you said, little bro, going to sit over there, and he gets in the way and does just enough of a distraction. Now, I will say, though, that if Trick does not win the title here, I do worry that he will completely snap and, could potentially end up, turning mega heel, whether that's in main roster or whether that's him and Javon got to beat each other up for a little while or whatnot. But, Trick has kind of become, a one-hit wonder at this point. It's, I want my title, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get it, and I'll continue to, complain, and I'll continue to talk and everything else. I mean, I'm going to keep fighting for it, but also that can make him very dangerous. But I do worry that his single-mindedness is going to take away from what made him so great in the first place when he was main eventing this very event a year ago against a guy who was main roster bound. Javon, I could see as champion at some point. Not quite yet. I still think he's just a little too wet behind the ears, a little too spry right now for it to be the right choice. And piggybacking off Alyssa, it's the Ruler, And you've seen him take on the best of the best, including a great match with Moose over in TNA. And he still took him down, So right now, it is going to take a Herculean effort, possibly by multiple people. And I argue even those people might have to be willing to work together. And frankly put, Trick and Javon want nothing to do with each other right now.
I was going to say, they would have to tie him to the ring and pray his legs don't work.
And even then, he might still be able to get it done.
Even then, he's going to clap them up like this.
So I feel like, the right move here is that Oba needs to retain. So I'm going to go with Oba.
I was about to say, I agree with Steven. Oba is good.
Kia?
I'm not against y'all. I'm agreeing with him, too.
I'm about to say, Oba going to be looking at the ground like, whatever.
Right. Also, I don't want the grandma to come after me.
Now I gotta put a safety thing on it.
What?
You just said MFR.
I said mucka.
Mucka.
I've been saying
mucka.
Well, we'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and look at the transcript.
All right.
Either way,
I don't. It's the Ruler. Most definitely, all the way. Like he's gonna drop it when he good and ready, and that'll be never. I feel like he's gonna be like taking the man off.
When he's good and ready. I mean, it may very well be an Asuka situation where it may be.
Right.
Look, you got called up, so therefore you can just give it back to us and we'll crown a new champion. We're not going to make you drop it or make you lose. If you're a person that we want you to look that dominant on the main roster. So, the question is, we said 2 years ago that we thought Carmelo and Breaker were ready, and ultimately they kept each of them down there for about another 8 months and a year, respectively, to let them have just a little more character development. And ultimately, it did wonders for Breaker. Melo, it still remains to be seen how it's going to work. So I am interested to see that if either Trick or Oba were to get called up after this or pretty soon after, what kind of difference that's going to make. But we all have Oba retaining. And with that does bring us to the end of our first of 3 shows. So we're going to take a little break here, but by the time you see this, if you're watching it live, you're going to wait a couple hours, and then we're going to begin our WrestleMania prediction shows for Top Rope Spoilers, starting with WrestleMania Saturday, main evented in the triple threat with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and the Tribal Chief.
Because it's not Jade,
Roman
so
Reigns.
clearly.
It's not. And I do think Jay got a raw rap, but we got enough time for that one. But either way, thank you for joining us. If you're watching this after all of them have been released, give them all your credit. Comment below, and if it's not before the show starts, obviously tell us what you think, and we will catch y'all on the flip side.